Okay, big disclaimer. This is not my project. I just am going to use it for demonstration. These are my friends, and I'm just going to use it for teaching. Basically, coach building or rebuilding a bus requires a lot of expertise. It means you have to assemble a team. For example, you want to form a live band. You need to find a lead guitarist, a rhythm guitarist, a bass guitarist, drummer, vocalist, dancer. That's what happens when you are doing coach building. So it's not only about the structure, the body, because I think a lot of people, they confuse that. Because, for example, for a body, you need a coach builder. Engine, you need the engine specialist, those who mount the engine, bench test the engine, etc., etc. Then when we are doing rebuilds, it's not also about engine only. You need a perfect gearbox which will suit the terrain which you want to put the bus. In most cases, most DAF, they put ZF gearbox. ZF gearbox is one of the most common gearbox, and they prefer 6 front because it's very good when, especially on the dust roads. If you put a 8 front, it has its own advantage and disadvantage. It's good on the slippery roads. When you are going slippery, 8 front is one of the best when it comes to slippery roads. So you can use the 8 front. So then the other thing which you need to modify your proper shaft and your diff. And the diff, you need someone who will be able to calculate. For example, I use international diff or American diffs. So I have someone who calculated the gear ratio and so that it will match the engine. Remember, an international gearbox will be more powerful than the engine. So you need someone who will set it or who adjusts it so that it is compatible to the engine. So you need someone who is specialized in that to make sure. So it involves mathematics, it involves expertise. You can't just pick someone from the street to do that modification. For the bus to be complete, involve also an auto electrician. You need lights, you need the dashboard. Let's say you have your oil is down, you need the oil warning light so that it's drivable. You need warnings. So the dashboard cluster or the instrument cluster, that one, that is more of auto electric job. And today's cars, engine, they have computer box, which is the brain for the engine or the brain for the vehicle. So it will be giving instruction to shut down, it will give warning to the dashboard, or it will think for the engine, and that makes the vehicle more efficient. So you need to assemble a proper team for you to come up with something which is compatible, which is suitable. So don't never downplay someone who do coach building, because it's like Thomas Mafumo. What makes Thomas Mafumo unique, or Oliver Mtutu unique, is how he assemble his band. Which best guitarist to put on the lead, which best guitarist to put on the bass. So it's just picking a team and coordinating activity so that you come up with a solid bass or a solid produce. So I see a lot of people, when we put this finished product, they have a lot of critics. They say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you put this one? Why didn't you do this? So it's an issue of compatibility, and it's an issue of expertise joining so that you come up with one thing. So it's not like you just buy a truck and you just take everything from the truck, including the chassis, you put it on the bus. No. Most of these buses we modify. For example, the weakest point for a Chinese bus is the gearbox. Why? Because they put very powerful engines, like they use Cummins, which may be 310 horsepower or 380. Some of them, they have 370 horsepower. So when the bus is moving, it will find the weakest point. That's why you find they always have the problem with the diff. And if you look at CAG, most time when you buy those buses, they modify most of the suspension depending on the terrain which they are going.